So you want to be self-employed. You're tired of the 9 to 5 and you think now is the time to make my mark to the world. Are you ready? Am I ready? Today's episode, I'll break down my few steps that I've been taking the last few months and some of the learning points that I have been learning and hopefully can help you too. Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. PK and this is MoloMolo Takes 2 Years. So, I've been taking the liberty, the privilege, for some people might say, to discover or rediscover my appetite for solo entrepreneurship. I have dabbed into the subject before on a part-time basis, and through many reasons, one of them being particularly the insolvency of my previous company, Lilium, my previous employer. If you haven't seen some of the videos regarding me getting fired and fired again and rehired, you can have a look at the description above. But I will break it down in this journey simply as this. You know how you get the sense that you've got skills, but man, it's not being used, it's not being utilized, not even being recognized in your workplace. You feel like you can help people. You feel like you have a knack for problem solving in a particular way that is essentially outside of the required competency in your workplace. And so it bothers you, it vexes you, it irritates you even that you are not able to live your life to its full potential. And so whenever opportunity comes, like with me, with a lot of people have a story like I have through some form of a abrupt event leading them into entrepreneurship, you jump in. There are a couple of things I had to learn during this time, and I'm incredibly privileged for all the people who have supported me. So thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. Again, it's amazing the growth and the comments that I've been receiving and the support that I've been getting. So I'm incredibly thankful. But you jump into it, right? You jump into the entrepreneurship and you start finding out the law. And of course, in Germany, it's amazing because here, for those who don't know, you do get unemployment benefits, but at the same time, the government essentially sees self-employment as a means of you getting out of unemployment. So they make available what they call a Gründungszuschuss, which is essentially you getting your unemployment benefits provided that you pass really strict criteria for a business plan in German, hint, hint. And then they give you up to 6 months of your unemployment benefits, and whatever you earn on top of that, you need to show that you break even without this benefit after 6 months. So it's pretty straightforward when you put it like that, and it's essentially a leg up to say if you have a business idea, if it aligns with your competences, and if you feel like this is something that you want to do and try, and the agency believes you can do it, then Bob's your uncle, go for it. So this is me, this is me trying to essentially dab into the idea of now morphing MoloMolo Tech Studios into not just speaking about specific subjects that really helps us to be empowered and helps us to communicate better and through a coaching mechanism, but now expanding it with my competences in aerospace within the operational research and model-based design and model-based system engineering specifically, to try and help companies be more productive through enhancing their workflows in a digital way. So that's essentially what I've now been put on paper, and there are there's quite a few interested clients that have come on board and signing letters of intent, and it's really exciting. And hopefully the next few months it will be clear whether indeed this can be something for the long run. So very excited. If you really want to follow my progress, make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow my progress. If you still see me smiling, then it's potentially working. But I wanted to speak about the realities. I want to speak about the realities of being prepared, being aware, being self-aware, really, of what's to come. And because it is tough, working for yourself is incredibly tough. And it's not something that one should take lightly, especially when you have a family, especially when you're a husband and you're a dad and you have bills to pay. But the bills is not the issue. The issue is more of how do you reestablish a sense of stability? How do you reestablish a sense of long-term planning? That's essentially what this is about, and not so much about just the day-to-day income, but it's really about what are the systems that you put in place that you had given your employer to put in place in terms of their understanding of the future and how they plan for it. Now it's on you. And that really leads me to the first point that I have, which is when you are an entrepreneur, you have to embrace chaos. You have to embrace chaos through systems. It is incredibly important that you understand that everything works in a system. And that's essentially what we do at MoloMolo Tech Studios. We help people understand the system thinking approach. Model-based system design and model-based system engineering is really all about, first of all, understanding that things exist in systems. Things operate in systems, systems within systems, and life is one big pile of system upon systems. And having a methodology to kind of capture that, understand it, plan within it, and really understand how to make sensible solutions that can be long lasting for and be aligned with your business is a skill set that everybody, in my view, needs to have. And most of you actually do have. You just cannot articulate it in a technical way or within a methodology perspective. And I think that is the skill set that we bring. But more importantly, understanding that it's not by chance that your business will work. A business plan does not make your business work. It gives a perception that you have thought about the different things, but the day-to-day activities, nobody can figure that out except you through systems. So it is incredibly important to understand that one needs to have the ability and the willingness to think holistically when it comes to their business. What does that mean? It means you have to think about partnerships. Exactly. A solo entrepreneur is not solo by design, it's solo by accountability, but partnership is still incredibly important. You need to have a mentor. Who is your mentor? I have 2 or 3 mentors. I look for them. I reach out for them. I want people to give me input because I do know that only through input will I be able to achieve success, long-term success. Systems, things like, what's up the things that you need to automate? Now we live in the world of AI. How can you leverage ChatGPT? How can you leverage your business model around ChatGPT? How can you ensure that the systems for planning, for doing, for quoting, for invoicing, for contracting, for essentially the systems that allows you to do the administrative work, how do they coexist? Incredibly important questions to ask. And I do believe as you go through those questions and checklists, I honestly believe, just like I'm learning, that it's becoming easier to tackle the bigger problems because the smaller administrative ones are being sorted out through you developing systems. So a business cannot exist without systems. And that's something that I'm learning. I am definitely not an expert. So I'm just basically saying this is something that I'm learning. The second thing that I'm learning is to become a third party. A third party means to me is that you are, especially if you're an introvert, which most engineers are, you have to now remember that you are always selling. I'm selling. I'm selling through this image, and I'm selling through what I'm saying, how I'm carrying myself, what am I talking about, what emphasis am I putting in the things that I'm talking about. All of that is a selling technique. Whether you understand it or whether you don't understand it. The point is you're always selling. And because you need to know this, then you can leverage it. You can leverage the fact that a third party, you being a third party, is you becoming a vantage point into your own life, into your own career, and basically saying, what are some of the things that I need to emphasize for people to see me as a person of authority, as a person that actually knows what they're talking about. And that is selling. It's becoming a third party. It's basically saying, I need to learn how to look at myself through the eyes of people better. I need to be able to be that third person looking at that person looking at me. That's essentially what I'm doing. That's a third party. And that's an incredible skill to have. And it's not easy to have it because we're always so self-centered about what people think, as opposed to being a lot more focused in business about what we want people to see, or how we want people to see us. And not so much what they think, but kind of, re-looking at us and rebranding the message that we're trying to bring as aligning with the business or aligning with whatever activity that you're trying to bring forward. So becoming a third party is something that I'm learning. It's something that it doesn't come naturally. I don't believe it's something that I've perfected. I think there are a lot of people that are a lot more polished in this area, where they're able to really talk about themselves in third person, essentially, which I'm not there yet. But I do believe it's an incredible important business skills, especially as a consultant, to be able to speak about your business and you being the spear of that business from a sales and marketing perspective, which you are the sales and marketing person. And that's really incredibly important. But the last thing that I want to spend a bit of time on is embracing chaos with faith. Faith in the way that your life will now be. Business is about chaos. You know why? As much as you put systems in place, systems are just preparatory steps to face chaos with less pressure. But chaos still needs to be faced. And one of the biggest tools you need to have in business is faith. Faith, Hebrews 11 verse 1 says, and faith is to be sure of what you hope for and certain what you do not see. And that's business. As much as, in a way, you don't really see the outcome even at an employer, specifically in terms of whether they'll be here in the next 10 years. But the timeline is so much more shorter with the business. You don't see the runway of this business, especially in the first few years, the next 6 months, the next 3 months, the next year. And faith is giving you that certainty that it will be fine. As long as I do my reps, as long as I do repetition in terms of, the right stuff every day, the emailing, the reaching out, the conversations, the notion that you have to have systems in terms of networking, in terms of, I'm not saying networking in terms of attending galas. I'm talking about speaking to people, sending emails, saying hi, hey, I am so and so, learning how to be the best third party for your business as possible. Those are some of the things that allows one to go out in faith. Go out in faith and say, I don't have it all figured out. All I know is I'm certain that if I trust in Him, He's got my back. He got me up to this point, and the only thing I need to work on is just the things that I can control. And everything else will come through time. So that is some of the things that I've been thinking about. I am incredibly excited about the next few days, the next few weeks, the next few months. Hopefully I'll be able to sort out this application and get it out of the way so I can really move forward. I'm already excited about all the different people that I'm speaking to about the business and trying to bring this across through social media and through other platforms, and the volunteers that have come and decided to make this their pet project, their value add project in a way. And this is really amazing to see how MoloMolo is taking such an amazing turn of events over the last couple of months. So it's really exciting. So please keep me in your thoughts. Keep the platform in your thoughts. We are now, I'm now full-time in creating content. I'm not a YouTuber, but I really want to use the platform to share my experiences as I'm going through this solopreneurship and really building systems and really empowering people essentially to really live fulfilling lives through being more productive and more resilient when it comes to their use of technology. So really exciting. I'm really excited about just what the future holds. So again, really think about the things that I've just spoken about. If you want to be a solo entrepreneur, really make sure you have systems, make sure that you are a third party to your own business, and for sure reach out everything you do in faith. And I don't believe in a super religious way. I just believe in just being positive and hopeful that you just need to do your part and everything else will be worked out in due time. I'm Dr. PK. Thanks again for watching another episode of MoloMolo Tech Studios. Until next time, ciao.